Hello, River Landing. I'm just a minute early, I think. So it's kind of nice to be early sometimes, right? We'll just sit here for a moment. I hope you're having a good day. It's a beautiful day outside today. It's August 25th if you're watching live. And if you could get outside today and have a walk, it's beautiful out before it gets really hot. The next couple of days is supposed to be really hot. So today might be your day to get out and have a walk if you can. Maybe early evening, something like that, before the sun sets would be a good time as well. Well, thank you for joining me. This is Chair Yoga. Glad to have you here. We're going to start seated in the chair. Be seated probably most of the time today. We will get up just a little bit. I had mentioned yesterday that a lot of times we'll do stuff standing, and if you stay seated in the chair, you're just kind of confused maybe about what to do. So I thought I would use today to kind of go over some of the terms that we use when we're standing and how do you do those seated in the chair. And so we'll do a little bit of both. We'll do the seated and then we'll get up and we'll stand. So if you want to stay seated, you could try them out yourself in the chair. So the first one is just seated. We're just going to stay seated with our feet nice and solid. If we were standing, it would maybe be called a Tadasana pose. So we'd be standing up with our feet either together or slightly apart in a little bit wider base. Sitting up nice and tall, I like to call this my building posture with my hips, shoulders, and ears all in line with each other. So maybe I have to shift back just a little bit. If this is extremely uncomfortable for me, maybe I could put a pillow or something soft behind me to help me stay upright. That's completely up to you. Good, all right, and for those of you that we talked about posture the other day, about if we're reading a book so we don't have to bend forward too much, maybe we put the pillow in the front so that we stay up nice and tall as well. All right, so let's start with the easy rock right here, just rocking back and forth. And let's go toes to heels. So a lot of times when we're standing, we'll do that rock toes to heels to work the calf muscles and the balance muscles. And we can do that same thing here. We can do the toes to heels rock right here. Good. All right, and then let's stay up on those toes and reach it forward. If we were standing, we might reach those arms up and let go of the chair if we could. Good. All right, now let's rock back on those heels and give it a stretch right here. Good. Did you notice I pulled my heels a little bit forward so I could get a bigger stretch in that heel, in that calf muscle? Good. All right, and then let's come all the way up. So a lot of yoga has yoga terms like warrior poses and side angles and those kinds of things. So let's talk about that just a little bit. So if we were doing a warrior one pose in the chair, this is how it would look. We take one foot here, the other leg comes back, and we're in that nice tall posture and we're facing the leg. That's warrior one right there. So we can either anchor here holding on, or we can inhale and lift, and here's our warrior one pose right here. Good. So let's just talk about body mechanics just a little bit. So for some of us, this leg doesn't want to extend back. We're not that flexible. So if you just stay bent here at the knee, that's perfectly fine. Or you could extend back a little further. Now that doesn't feel great for me, so I'm going to go somewhere in the midpoint. So here we are, warrior one. We inhale and lift. Good. We could take our warrior, we could bow it. So here's a bowing warrior. If we were bowing, standing up, we would be doing basically the same thing. Good. Inhale and lift. We're back into that warrior one. Good. Now we're going to pivot a little bit and turn towards the front. Here's our warrior two. Good. We'll come forward right here, reaching over. Here's your extended side angle right here. Good. Nice stretch here. Reach it out. Pushing that knee maybe a little bit towards the floor to get a deeper stretch in the hip. Now let's inhale, and we're going to go with that reverse angle right here, that reverse triangle. Kind of not a triangle because our legs are bent, but it's a reverse angle right here. Coming back, reaching it back, feeling that stretch right here through the front. Beautiful. And then let's come back. So let's come back to that warrior one pose right here. So a lot of times when we're standing, I'll say let's do a side stretch. It challenges our balance. So we're going to reach that arm out. For those of us that have mobility issues in the shoulder, we either put our fingers on the shoulder or the hip. For those of us that don't have those mobility issues, we're going to reach over the top towards the chair, and this is coming to the side. This is that side stretch. Good, pushing that knee to the floor, pushing that hip away, feeling that nice stretch. Good, and inhale and lift it. Now, to get out of this warrior pose on a seated position, we pull that leg forward, and then we can come back to the center. Good. And so we just did something on one side, so let's kind of re-center. We'll do some cat and cow right here. So sitting in the chair, you can do cat and cow just like you can standing or laying on the floor. So we're going to curl here, and when we think about that pelvis, we push the pelvis back, and then we inhale and push that pelvis forward. I like to use my bowl analogy. I have water, I'm going to fill my bowl, and then I'm going to dump my bowl out. Good, so fill the bowl. Or cat and cow analogies are good too. Whichever works best for you, so you understand that we're tilting that pelvis, working that back. So anytime we tilt the pelvis back, we're working the back, stay with it forward. All right, now let's come back to that neutral posture, building posture. Let's do the other side. So we take that leg out, and we bring that leg maybe so that the knee is bent directly towards the floor. Maybe if we want to extend a little bit more into the hip, we can go back just a little bit further. And then to do the warrior one, we face it forward, holding onto the chair if you need it. And we inhale and we lift. Now I know a lot of us have arms in our chairs and we're sitting maybe precariously at the edge of the chair. So just be really careful, maybe anchor a little bit harder, taking your arm around the back of the chair if you can, or holding the top of that chair. So here's your warrior one, and we're going to swing those arms back for warrior two. Good. Now let's inhale again and reach it up. Good. And now let's, excuse me. All right, let's pivot in right here. Sorry about that. Pivoting right here to that warrior two position, nice tall posture. We're pushing that hip away slightly. Good, we're gonna do that extended side angle. We're gonna come forward, reach it up and over. Get that nice stretch here. Good. I am going to show you, before we stand up, I'll show you one more modification that we could do if we really have arms that are a problem in our chair. So let's come over here again to the back to do that reverse angle. Good. Feel that nice stretch through the side. And then let's come back here. We're back at that warrior two position. Good. And then let's turn back. Warrior one. Maybe we're holding onto the chair. And we're going to take the outside arm, palm is up. We're going to put it either on the shoulder or on the hip, or we're going to come up and over, extending here to the side. If we were standing, we'd be challenging our balance here, right? Because we've shifted our center of gravity. Good, inhale, and then let's come up. Let's slide that leg forward and come back to the center. This time, let's leave our legs wide, and we're going to do a little cat and cow here. So a little cat and cow. Good. Remember that bowl analogy. Fill your bowl, empty the bowl. Good. Feel that good stretch. And last one right here. Good. All right. So there is another option with the Warrior series that if you have a chair that has arms with it, you can try. So it scoots us forward again and scoots us over just a little bit, and it has us tucking that leg right close. So maybe the arm of my chair is here, and maybe this becomes my warrior one, and then I pivot here for warrior two. So that is another option, a little bit more precarious, and I prefer that you did it in the front so you could really anchor with the back of the chair. But that is an option for some of you that if you want to try that as well, if you want to stay seated in the chair. All right, so putting one foot forward, we're going to stretch through the calf muscle. So if we were standing, we would do this as a calf stretch or a hamstring stretch. So let's do it here in the chair. Nice big deep breath. Good, and then let's come up. Let's do that other side. So we're going to push that heel forward, reach it out, hold it. Nice big deep breath. All right, and then come up. So in the chair, we can do a down dog by putting those feet forward, reaching those arms up, and look, I'm making that same tabletop right here. So that same tabletop position, if I were standing, maybe the chair would be underneath. If you just tipped me over, I'd be able to put my hands right on that chair. So here's that warrior one. And then if I wanted to do an up dog, I might do here, right? So there's that, I'm sorry. This is down dog, excuse me. So down dog right here, and then up dog right here. Good, so you got that down dog. Nice big stretch through the spine, ears, shoulders, hips stay in line. And then inhale and lift for that up dog. Let's do that one more time, reach it out. Keeping those bodies in line. And then inhale and up dog right here. Good, all right, and then let's bring those feet down, rock everything out just a little bit. Good. So now that you've kind of gotten some of those terms, and I know it's been a real brief kind of flow here of how we go through things, let's go ahead, for those of us that would like to, let's stand up and do those same poses. So for those of you that want to stay seated, now you kind of know where to go, and you can kind of go there with me while we stand up. All right, so we're marching our feet a little bit, trying to get that blood into that lower extremity because we've been sitting for about 10 minutes. Good, so march it out. All right, and plant those feet. Let's go ahead and stand up. I'm going to move the chair so that you can see me. But you can stay standing behind your chair so that you can see me that way without turning your head. I don't want you to have to turn your head. It's not good for your cervical spine to constantly be doing that. Okay? So we started out with that rocking on the heels and toes. Remember when we were sitting, we were reaching those arms up and rocking. Toes to heels, just like we are doing standing, just rocking toes to heels. Good. Stretching through the calf as we strengthen it. Good. Now, let's come up and stand up on those toes. If you're seated in the chair, you're up on those toes. You're reaching up towards the sky. For those of us that are standing, maybe we could reach up to the sky. Maybe we need to hold on to that chair for stability, and that's perfectly fine. One hand can hold on, one hand can reach. Good, and then bring it down. Let's rock back on those heels. So even in the chair, rock back on your heels. Lift those arms up, hold them there, stick that bottom back into the chair. For those of us standing here, knees are soft, don't lock out those knees. Lift your hips ever so slightly so you feel that stretch in those hamstrings. Good, and then let's put that down, let's march it out just a little bit. All right, so warrior one. Here we go, we're gonna step it back. So if you're seated in the chair, go to one side. Ready for your warrior one. Everything faces that bent knee in the front. We inhale, lift. Good, if you need to hold on to the chair, hold on, that's perfectly fine. Good, reaching it up. Sometimes maybe we'll go into a cactus pose here. So in the chair, go to your cactus pose if that's where you're gonna go. Good, inhale, good. Holding right here, pushing that back heel into the floor the best that you can if you're standing. Ooh, I'm gonna fall over, sorry. There we go. Now let's pivot, and here we are into that warrior two. I had to pick up my foot because my shoes are slippery, they're sticky. So the front heel should be in line with the back heel, and here we are with that warrior two, a slight bend or a big bend in the front knee, you choose. Good. All right, so we're going for that extended side angle, either putting the hand on the chair or the hand on the thigh, reaching up, reaching, and then coming over so you really feel that stretch through the side, pushing that through that foot, feeling that stretch deep into the hip. Good, and breathing. Good, inhale, come up. Even in the chair, we can rock and reverse it right here, pushing that front foot into the floor. Good. Oh, I forgot one, but we'll get here in just a second, we'll do it. Good, and inhale, and come all the way back up. Good, let's pivot it back to the front, right here. Good, so here we are in our warrior one. We're gonna bow that warrior right over the chair. For those of us that can, we're gonna clasp those hands behind and come forward, leaning over the chair. Happy dog tail, stick it out, don't tuck that tail. Keep that spine nice and long. Good, squeeze those shoulders down, pull them down. Inhale, let's come up. Let's release those hands. So we're gonna hold on to the chair with the same arm as the leg that's forward, inhaling and lifting the same arm as the leg that's back. For me, it's my left. So we're gonna reach it up and come on over. So this is that side reaching that we did when we were sitting in the chair. Remember that we took our arm out, put it on our shoulder or our hip or overhead, and we leaned over to the side. Now, when we did this standing, it challenges our balance because we've taken our center of gravity and put it over to the side. Good, and then inhale and lift. And to get out of this pose standing, we just step it forward. Let's do a little bit of cat and cow in the middle. So take a few steps back. We're gonna inhale and curl. Now here is the one time where I'm telling you it's okay to tuck your tail when we're standing doing cat pose. And then exhale, and we almost do a bit of an up dog here with the cow pose. Good, so curl through the spine for cat. Inhale and lift for cow. Good, so we're still tilting the pelvis forward and back. In the chair, you can do the same thing. All right, now, let's go ahead and do that other side. So the other leg goes back, the opposite leg goes back. Good, pushing that heel into the floor. Good, all right, so we're in that warrior one. So if you're seated in the chair, we now go to the other side. Good, and that knee is bent. We're gonna inhale, lift. Both arms come up if we can, otherwise we're holding onto that chair, pushing that back heel into the floor. I'm having a little bit of trouble with my knee today, so I'm gonna keep a little extra softness there because the straightening makes it hurt a little bit. So we're just gonna stretch it up right here. Good, and we're gonna go right into that bowing warrior. So we sweep those arms back, leaning forward. Maybe we're going to clasp those hands again and pull those shoulders down. So you decide what feels better for you. Pushing that heel back, feeling that stretch into the calf and the hamstring. Breathing. Good. And then inhale and lift. Good. I just realized I gotta do this. All right, now inhale, lift, pivot. Otherwise I was gonna pivot to the back. Now we're in that warrior two position, palms are facing the floor. The heel is in line with the back heel. Good, and if you are seated in the chair, we just turn to the front, arms are out. Good, we're gonna do extended angle right here, extended side angle. So we're gonna grab the thigh or the top of the chair, reach up and over, big stretch, pushing that heel back into the floor. That back heel, push it so you feel a deeper stretch here. Good, and then inhale and lift, reversing the direction that we're bending. Feel that nice stretch through the spine. Good, and then let's inhale and come all the way up, pivot it back to the front to that warrior one position. Good, even in the chair we can do that. So we're gonna take right arm, right leg. If my right leg is back, I'm reaching my right arm up. If my left leg is back, I'm reaching my left arm up. And we're coming over to the side. So those of you in the chair, you're reaching over the chair. Here's that side stretch right here, pushing that back heel into the floor the best that you can. Breathing, nice big deep breath, balance challenge. So hold the chair if you need to. Good, and then let's inhale and come up, and then just simply we'll just step forward here. March it out if you need a little wiggle. All right, so let's do that down dog on the chair. Remember, if you're seated in the chair, heels go up, arms reach up, and then if we tipped you over, you'd be in the same position. So for those of us standing behind the chair, we're going to take our feet back. We're going to reach it back, stretch it out. Good, big stretch here, pushing those hips back. Nice big deep breath, stretching it back. Happy dog tail, push that tailbone back, lift those hips. One more breath here. Good. So let's come up just a little bit. So we talked about doing the down dog, up dog series. So let's try that here. So push those hips forward. Here's an up dog right here. Now I'm not going to go all the way forward, but you could go forward a little bit more if you'd like. If you need to take a step forward, please do so. So down dog into that up dog. Pushing those hips forward. Remember how we did that in the chair. The feet stay up and we're just rocking the body up and down. Good, so hopefully your chair isn't in a spot where it would be bad. Good, one more time. All right, last one, hold it in that down dog, stretch it out. Soften through those knees, let's walk it forward. I'm going to turn my chair back to the front and let's have a seat if you stood up with me. All right, there we go. Good job. All right, so let's work just a little bit on some other parts of the body. See, we've done all those yoga terms. Let's just work on some things that sometimes hurt. So if you want to anchor on the arm of your chair or anchor on the base of your chair, let's lean over. We're going to stretch through the neck, taking that hand on top of the head and stretching it over. Feeling that nice stretch. We're relaxing through the shoulder, softening through the shoulder, and breathing. Good. All right, and then let's come up. Let's do that other side. So we're just going to anchor either the arm of the chair, the side of the chair, leaning over, and a gentle stretch. I'm not pulling or tugging. I'm just adding the weight of my hand. What is that? Maybe a pound or two. I don't know. Maybe a pound. And then let's come all the way up now. Sitting up nice and tall, let's tuck your chin, keep your shoulders back and tucked in your back pocket, and breathe. Think about breathing and expanding the back of that neck. Good. Let's look for the elusive napkin, shake that head. Good. At my house, if you drop the napkin, the dog will eat it. Good. Because invariably there must be some food underneath the ears. Good. And maybe he won't eat it per se, but he'll rip it apart. All right, so give me that stop, like you don't really care about my dog. That's okay. And then pull it back, gentle stretch. Maybe you do care about him. He's a funny dog. He's a beagle. He's a beagle rat terrier mixed. He is a mess. And release it. He's the most food motivated dog I've ever seen. And then that thumb comes back. Good. And then now let's take that hand and bring it over the top. And he doesn't like just conventional food. He'll eat cicadas. He'll eat very unmentionable things that are disgusting. He loves to chase birds, and we have those things in the ground that moles. He loves to grab moles. Very gross. All right, here we go. Let's do the other side. More than that. More than you ever wanted to know about my dog. Right there. release it, and then let's pull that thumb back. Good. And then let's do the other side. So we take that hand on the top and we stretch through the front. Good job. Good. All right, take your shoulders and lower those shoulders. I don't know about you, but I realized that my shoulders were up in my ears. So take those hands out, keeping the shoulders down. Flip your hands so that the backs of the hands are facing each other. We're going to take those hands right there and we're going to put them together in a gentle fist. And we're going to pull down and release. And pull down and release. Good. We're stretching through the forearm here. Good stretch for that forearm. Good. All right, one more. All right, now bring them right here, bring them close. Just up and down like you're a nodding head with your hands. Good, up and down. Good. Feels good. Now keeping that gentle fist, let's roll the best that you can roll. Good. Roll the other way. All right, now open and close those hands. Open and close, feel that wide finger stretch. If it hurts because of arthritis, then back off. Some of us have that arthritis and that's no-go, right? All right. Now, let's start. We're going to start with the index finger and we're going to roll and make a circle. Just the index finger if you can do it. So we're working that individual muscle that moves the index finger, circle the other way. Good. And then let's do the middle finger. Rolling that middle finger. And then roll the other way. All right, and then do the ring finger. And roll the other way. All right, and let's do the pinky finger. And roll the other way. Good, now let's do that thumb, rolling that thumb. And roll the other way. Now take that thumb all the way across and hold it here. Good. Open them up, wiggle, shake. Good. All right, one more thing we're going to do with our hands and our feet before we do our final relaxation. So I want you to open all your toes in your shoes, or if you're not wearing shoes, just open up your toes. And then I want you to close them and grab them like you're trying to pick up a battery or something with your toes. Good, and then open them and wiggle. So we're doing the hands too just because it's easy and it makes sense. So we're going to curl the toes, grab those hands, and then open and wiggle. Good, curl the toes, curl the hands, open and wiggle. Let's do one more, curl, hold them in. This is for your feet. This is a great exercise for plantar fasciitis. Good, and then open and wiggle. As a matter of fact, let's just rock those feet just a minute. Maybe one day this week, maybe Thursday, maybe tomorrow after balance, we'll talk a little bit about plantar fasciitis and how we can relieve some of that pain through exercise. So I'll grab some extra exercises for our feet tomorrow. Maybe we'll do yoga tomorrow without shoes on. After our balance, we'll take it off. Take them off. All right, so let's scoot back in that chair. Sitting up nice and tall. Good, relaxing back into that chair. Breathing some nice big deep breaths. Softening through the body. Good, relaxing. Clearing your mind of any thought. Softening. Breathing. Not thinking of any one thing, just letting those thoughts flicker. Now holding on to that peaceful, calm feeling, open up your eyes. Let's take a big deep breath. Inhale, bring your hands up to prayer. Bringing those prayer hands right down to your heart. Thank you so much for joining me today in yoga. I hope that you feel stretched and energized and ready for a fabulous day. Namaste.